What's going on, everybody? Excuse me, I'm just a little bit tired. If had a long day today, but regardless of that, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna hop on to. Well, this will be my last video of today. We're gonna be discussing. We're gonna be discussing supporting local vendors, your local farmers, your local distributors. When I say local, I'm not talking about a location that's necessarily down the street. I'm talking about like local people in your area. Not to say that you shouldn't support people that are from other places, because you want to be universal and open minded. But when it comes down to, let's say you're in a neighborhood and you have a grocery store down the way, right, that imports things from other places, and it all comes together. Because what a grocery store does is, I've worked in one, so I can say from personal experience what I know of a grocery store to do is typically look around for certain like items, or items that people may consume on a daily basis, and to see their options, because at the end it is a profitable business. It's not a charity. So when it comes on to grocery stores, they're gonna look around, excuse me, in different countries. So of course they're going to be importing things because they want to see what's their what can they profit the most from. Not a bad thing, they have deals to pay and everything. What I want to suggest though is, when it comes down to your local partner or your neighbor that is growing vegetables and fruits and things like that, specifically farmers. But if you want to go and talk about people knitting baskets and making face masks and things of that, then yeah, you can support those businesses too. But let's just specifically talk about farming for this video. When it comes down to farming, food will be the last resource that you will need in this world. Yes, you have housing. Yes, you have transportation. Yes, you have all these things that you use and consume on a daily basis. But the number one thing that is survival, the number one thing that we all need to focus on is our food. What are we intaking? You know what I mean? What are we consuming, right? So once you got that down pack, and you understand that food is the number one resource in this universe, for as far as human life goes, as far as all life needs the nutrition and food. That comes first, right? That is number one priority, because without it, you was not surviving. Yeah, you can talk about water, but we're still going to include water into consumption of nutrition, right? Water, food, anything that you consume to survive. Now, we got that packed. So now we understand about food. And this is just a quick motivational message of wisdom. That's all this is. Now, with food, right? Because food is so important, anytime you have a neighbor or a friend that grows vegetables, grows fruit in their yard and things like that, I ask that you guys, and I encourage you guys to support those local vendors. I do understand in certain situations, they might not, of course, it takes some time and energy to grow those crops. So yes, sometimes they can come off as a little bit more expensive than going to the grocery store, because maybe the grocery store got them at a very low cost, because obviously they're probably getting them from a bigger distributor. Thereby, the more land the distributor has, the more crops they can grow with the little bit of time, thereby making it easy for them to sell off a lot within a little profit. So at the grocery store, it might be cheaper, but I encourage you guys, if it might be $1 or two more for a banana or orange at your neighborhood farmer. But what it could do is, it could establish that strong bond with ensuring you have food for survival. What do I mean by that? It's like, yes, you can go to the grocery store and you can support the grocery store, but when you guys put pockets into the local farmers that are her growing, you know what I mean? The small fish in the sea. What it does is, if this is your neighborhood farmer, or if this is you're from an island, this is your island locals. You know what I mean? These are locals that are growing fruits and vegetables. What happens is, you reassure you have crops and you have food for survival. Because if something was to happen, like the corona came and borders were closed, a lot of fruits and vegetables wasn't able to get to certain places because, or when there was that banana crisis with the whole parasites that was in the bananas, a lot of trees had to be chopped on. If you're in a country that has a lot of things imported, it doesn't even matter if you have a lot of things exported. We're talking about imported in general. If you're a country that needs things imported, I would strongly suggest you as a person to support the people that are growing it out of the yards if they're selling. Because, giving them an opportunity to be able to go out and purchase land to be able to support their neighborhood or even the city or even the island if you guys live on an island in general, and to be able to support have as much local support systems as possible. That way any natural crisis, any national situation that involves borders getting closed, or it prevents that whole I have to be relying on other countries type of vibe. Like that this local person is has the finances or as much finances as you can financially provide to help them out as much as necessary. And that's what it all comes down to. Everybody makes moves depending on as much help as they received at that moment. So if you play your part, kind of like cleaning the beaches, right? If you see trash, you picking up a bottle could really prevent, you just prevented at least 1% is better than no percent. You might have put 1% out of 100 into the process of prevention from the turtles eating that one plastic bottle that you picked up off the beach, but it's better than none, right? It's better to do something and get a small thing in return than to not do anything at all and get nothing in return, right? So always remember, think that way, because when it comes on the local farmers, if you support them, $5, $3, $4, even buying a banana from them, even just choosing a fruit 1 week. You know what I mean? Doesn't have to be every day, doesn't have to be every month, doesn't have to be every year. But do as much as you can. Do as much as you deem possible, because I promise you this, when it comes down to situations as the COVID and borders had to be shut down, a lot of people wasn't getting food and things like that, access to other countries as far as the goods. Everybody was enclosed and everybody kind of had to defend for themselves. Another situation could happen that way. It's important to support your local farmers. You might say, well, the grocery store is the neighborhood, but the grocery store brings in food. So if the grocery store is not able to bring in food and the local farmers, they deem as charging too much, you know what I mean? It's better off to just go ahead and start supporting these local farmers, because that's who the grocery store is going to have to turn to. Now, the only problem is the local farmers already have their sales, they already have their distribution set up. They're going to, of course, have to up the price on the grocery store. But if they up the price on the grocery store, because they know the grocery store is going to make a profit off of it, if they up the price on the grocery store, then the people, then the grocery store is going to have to up the price on their products. So let's say the bananas from the local vendor, the local farmer, cost $5. And the grocery stores are not able to, because of a natural crisis, they're right now at the moment not able to gain bananas from elsewhere. So you have to turn to the locals. So they turn to the locals, and the locals say, well, I signed for $5. I know in the back of their head, they already know that the grocery store is going to up on their margin because they have to make a profit. It's a profitable business. So let's say they know that the grocery store is going to sell them for $6. So they go and sell the grocery store for $5. Or, they might even sell it to the same price that they might sell you. But the grocery store knows that if I sell it for $6 and this guy that sold them to me for $5, the people are gonna still go to the grocery store. Still go to the local farmer because the local farmer sells it for cheaper. So in the end, the local farmer is gonna be the one that sells the bananas for cheaper. You might go to a farmer right now and it's gonna probably seem like it's gonna be costing more because the local farmer doesn't have that much distribution to give out for cheap. So they're gonna be probably $1 more than the grocery store. But in the end, the farmer will still be distributing to the locals, while the grocery store will be out of service because they wouldn't be able to provide the fruits and vegetables if the things are not being imported. Please, I hope you guys play this video back to really understand and really get in depth of what I'm really trying to tell you guys. This is serious. You know what I mean? It's gonna get to a point. You know, we're gonna hit bumps in the road. But what I can tell you is make sure you guys supporting your local people that have land, that are growing crops, because you ain't gonna be worrying about the electricity bill when you ain't got no food in your house. You're gonna be more worried about food in your stomach. And they have fruits and vegetables that you can eat straight off of these things. So if we all have to pitch a tent and do what we gotta do to survive, you're not gonna be focused on that car payment. You're gonna be more focused on having food in your stomach, because you can get another car. You can't get another life. So ensure you guys are, like I said, putting that time and that energy into your local farmers as well, because they're gonna be the last standing when all else fails. They'll be the ones to get you through the tough times. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like this video if you do like it. If you would like to see more of this content, subscribe and post notifications when you want to see more, or whenever I drop the video. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned, think positive. Any negativity, try to just balance that out with positivity, and just make sure you guys are thinking in the long term. Whatever it is that you do right now, ask yourself, are you going to be doing it for the next 20 years? If not, try to switch out, try to change, try to find a different outlook on everything. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video.